Yeah, well, let's kind of take a look at some scores and notable like highlights from the past week. I've got it listed Friday to Monday, but I'm going to flip it and start Monday and go down to Friday. So if you guys see any nuggets in here that you want to add into, feel free. So looking at Monday, De La Salle defeated number 11 St. Lawrence. Teutopolis defeated number 25 at the time Muhammad Seymour 8-2. Big game for Mick Niebrugge. He's an uncommitted 2025. Went 3 for 4, runs scored and a walk. And then JCA beat number 22 at the time Oswego 13-8. And JCA scored 6 runs in the 4th inning and 5 runs in the 5th inning. So 3 Power 25 upsets there. So that's good stuff there to see, and good for those teams beating the Power 25 teams there. But looking over at Tuesday, I think probably one of the biggest takeaways from the week was number 14 Muscuda beating Edwardsville, who was number 1 at the time, 10-0. And Austin Musso, he threw 4 no-hit innings with 6 strikeouts. Darren Klein threw 2 scoreless innings in relief with 3 Ks. I saw Edwardsville and I saw Musso early on at the Kickoff Classic, and that was like my biggest thing. It's like, man, I'm excited to see him against a team like Edwardsville and see how he competes, and that just makes him that much much more excited about him like that, just knowing he can go and shove against who we all think a really good team is in Edwardsville. Like their lineup is just so disciplined. So that was awesome to see from Musso there.
Well, and I think it further adds to the point. I know Drew's touched on this a long time with Austin Musso's. Like, man, if Drew has a short list of guys he's given the ball to win a game tomorrow, Musso's probably right near the top of that list. And kind of showed you why last week, right? We really like that Edwardsville lineup. So to hold them hitless speaks volumes, right? He's obviously very talented. He's going to Arizona State after this year, but just wanted to add that nugget in there as well.
Yeah, and St. Patrick, they won their game 18-0 on Tuesday. Elias Alvarado struck out 11 in the game. No hits, 1 walk, no runs in 4 innings. Oak Forest defeated Crete Moni 7-0. Andrew Dawson threw 5 innings, struck out 9, walked 3, allowed no hits. And then the defending 2A state champs, St. Anthony, defeated Flora 13-2. And just the big games out of Brock Fearday and Brady Hatton. Fearday went 3 for 3 with a homer, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and Hatton also hit a homer in the game too.
I could be mistaken. Didn't we? Somebody just spotlighted Brady Hatton as their prospect of the week as well.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It might have been
Nice.
me, maybe.
That's what I thought, Gavin.
Yeah.
So now he's hitting a home run, just kind of making you look good over there. That boy Brady Hatton.
Yep. But looking at Wednesday, Lincoln Way West down there in Georgia, they defeated Coffee 10-9, and Troy out of Ohio 16-2. Really off topic kind of, but I guess with Ohio. Did you ever play like Troy, or do you know anything on them?
Yeah.
Are they a pretty good program?
25 minutes up the road from me. My grandma actually lives in Tip City, which is like the neighboring city, and I lived in Troy my freshman year at Edison State. So it's a good little town. They always have a pretty good program. They're Division II, so like for Illinois, they'd be like a 3A school. So
I was kind of hoping you'd have like some nugget, like I went 4 for 5.
Well, I did have my first ever varsity start against Troy.
There you go.
It went well. I just kind of got yanked early, but we don't need to get into that.
All right.
Well, number 24 Andrew at the time defeated number 21 Mount Carmel 10-2, so big win there for Andrew. Quincy Notre Dame defeated Highland out of Missouri 12-0. Colt McGuire is a 2027 on QND, threw a 5-inning no-hitter with 9 strikeouts and 2 walks, and then Abram Wewell, I think it's how you say the last name. He was a triple shy of the cycle, went 3 for 3, 4 runs scored, and a walk in that game. On Thursday, we're looking at number 8 Naz beating RB Riverside Brookfield 8-0. Mac McGarry threw 6 innings, 12 strikeouts.
He's making our decisions on player of the week and pitcher of the week extremely difficult. But at least looking at the stat line here, 6 innings, 12 Ks. So he's punching out 2 guys an inning and gave up 1 hit against RB, who started the year really strong. So that's a nice little win there for Naz, who just remains undefeated. What do you got here on Burlington Central? Because I had to reach out to Coach Nelson after this win. I saw they went undefeated, or they're still undefeated, and they shut out Hinsdale South, which is actually where I want to say Coach Nelson graduated from Hinsdale South. Because that's kind of, you look at that like game, Burlington Central going to Hinsdale, it doesn't make a ton of sense location wise, all that stuff, but they must do something there with Hinsdale South. But I texted them because it's like, hey, are you guys for real? So that's another team we got to watch. He really likes his guys on the team there that he was saying. And that win over Hinsdale South kept them undefeated. And you can mention it here, but Chase Perouzik looks like he threw the ball well too, Gavin.
Well, and Burlington Central was really good last year as well. They were right up there fighting for that Fox Valley Conference title with Huntley and McHenry last year. But Chase Perouzik, I actually saw him throw last year against McHenry, and I really like him. He's going to Wisconsin Parkside after this year, but 5 innings pitched, no runs given up, 2 walks, and 11 strikeouts. So good to see that Chase is still throwing the ball well.
Yeah, and kind of turn it over to some 2A games here. We got Illinois Valley Central beating Pontiac. Pontiac is 3A, but IVC is 2A. They won 2-0. Max Gregory for IVC threw a complete game with 7 strikeouts, 2 hits, and 3 walks. And then Limestone beat Canton 7-0. They've been doing pretty well this year. I mean, I've seen they've picked up some wins, and they've had a good game against Naz when they came down to Limestone. But Alec Williams threw a complete game shutout for them, 12 strikeouts, 5 hits allowed, and 2 walks. And then, like we were talking about earlier, Putnam County's undefeated this year. They beat conference rival Midland 9-3, and Jonathan Stunkel struck out 12 in that game. And kind of turn to the page, or go ahead, Drew. Yeah, go ahead.
Just shout out Evan Daxenbickler for Limestone. Like, he was a guy that I know Dane Poe got to see Limestone. He came back saying he showed really well. And he's a younger prospect that we've gotten to see at some tournaments and stuff. So nice to see him impacting that Limestone club who's playing well.
Yeah, and then on Friday here, Glenbard North defeated West Chicago 11-0. Jeremy Cooney threw 4 innings, struck out 9, walked 1, and allowed 1 hit. And then Palatine defeated Ridgewood 10-0. And Toby Peterson threw 4.1 innings, struck out 10, allowed a hit, and walked nobody.
And just looking at that stat line, like, we got to go see Toby. Not a single walk. Like, he has been a guy in the past that's got really dynamic stuff. We have seen it scattered in the past. We have seen it really, really good. So the fact that he's throwing 4 1/3, not walking a single guy, striking out 10. So, like, his swing and miss stuff is obviously still there, and it's in the zone. And I'm going to shout this out. Like, Gavin, you're looking through daily roundups, getting these stat lines. Like, any coaches out here, any parents, any players, like, if you want your games in our daily roundup, email us, fill out that Google form that we send out to all the coaches, like, put the daily scores in there, put nuggets on there. That's the beauty. Like, we want to highlight all the games going on around the state. Like, we know not as many newspapers are able to do it like they used to in the past. And I think our whole goal is just putting all of the information out there from everybody around the state. And then, like, I love that you're calling this out on our podcast, Gavin, where we're trying to touch on a lot of different schools and a lot of different players. And I think you guys do an outstanding job with the daily roundup. And hopefully, our listeners are seeing that every day and are checking out who's doing what. But yeah, we could always take more and more submissions and write-ups and all that stuff. So I just wanted to shout that out, Gavin.